Hey guys, this is Rainwolf from Convention Video. We are covering SAO War of the Underworld Part 2, Episode 8.
Hey guys, Kirito Silverheart here.
Hi, Asuna Silverheart.
And this is Lyria.
This episode, I would say, is an interesting one, and it kind of explains a lot on where the animation is going, but we'll go into more on that a little later. So, the scenes right before the opening is Alice tearing up to Kirito's arrival, then Kirito pretty much reverting the dragons into their egg form.
Yeah, it was really cute to see the baby dragons. They look just like Tina, and I was like, "Oh, cute little baby."
Yeah, now that I think about it. And then Asuna creating the stairs up to the altar. I'm surprised she even had the energy to pull that off.
She almost didn't, and she like fell and stuff. She was like grab, Alice called her, and she was like, "I'm good, I'm fine, everything's awesome." But I mean, she's beast. Asuna's always been beast, so she's like, "I got this, don't worry about it." And I mean, she did. Those steps. There was a lot more steps than I was planning on. I was like, "That's a journey."
Yeah, it's like, Kirito, can you just like burst element us up there or something?
That was that moment. Asuna was probably like, "Why the hell did Xenon get the flying powers? Why didn't I get the flying powers?" Like, really?
Then obviously we go into the opening right afterwards. The climbing of stairs is as soon as already brought up. That I don't, even with wearing herself to that point that she did just to create those stairs, I'm surprised she was able to make it up those stairs.
Yeah, that's definitely pushing herself way further than she thought. But at least she did have a little bit of respite in the time that it took Kirito to fight Poe and to fly there. So
Then it goes into the full-out raging battle of Kirito versus Gabriel. The first thing Gabriel tries to do to Kirito is take over him. Then Ugio.
yeah, I was gonna say it seems like it almost worked, but again, you have Yujio, who is just an empowering presence for Kirito, and he snaps him right out of it, and then poof, God mode. It's like, nah, man, you're fucked.
Then Gabriel restoring his arm with some of that dark energy of his. Kirito sprouting wings, pretty much his ALO wings at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A little sleeker, really a little nicer, but
when I saw that, I was like, "Oh my god, throwback!" Which this whole season, like we've talked about,
it's been a throwback.
It's been throwback to everything from the beginning, and
yeah, the SAO outfit with the ALO wings and the War of the Underworld weapons. It's a beautiful combo.
It's been a giant combination of things, and then doing the burst elements of every element.
That
fantastic.
Was impressive magic.
All those shards in Gabriel's chest,
and he smirked. It's like, really, this is the best you've got.
It's like, this doesn't hurt. Lifts, straightens out his body, goes in. And then he ends up taking the mount he's riding and absorbs it. Sprouts those wings of a demon. Battle goes on. Then he just outreaches these tentacles, or whatever you want to call them, that Gabriel has at Kirito. First time, they stretch through the barrier, and they keep going through the barrier into his chest. Then Kirito ends up bursting out another barrier, but strong enough to actually just remove them from himself. Then Gabriel turning into a demon, like a full-out demon. We already knew he was one.
Yeah, pure dark energy form. And so I was taken back a little bit by this. I figured it was coming. I thought that the dark energy demon presence that we saw in the opener, I thought that related to Poe. Having Poe dispatched in the manner that he was, and then seeing that when Gabriel did it, he actually had the halo that we saw in the opening. I was like, okay, this does make a little more sense.
I had a feeling on who that was going to be, but with the way Poe was directing his dark energy,
yeah,
and also
they were very similar.
Very similar. But you also got to think he was the knight of the darkness of Vecta, pretty much Vecta's knight when he was the character of Vecta.
Yeah, he was a dark knight.
And then we have the whole pretty much purest of, well, the darkest of dark, if you want to put in the proper words, for Vecta. And then that was kind of merged with his Gabriel character that he normally has from Gigio. Then the thoughts of Kirito in the 200 years, that of him wanting to actually stay.
Yeah, I don't know. That struck a chord.
I think it did for a lot of people.
Because it's just like, you realize that you have all these people that admire you and look up to you and depend on you and love you, and you're their hero and you're their support and they support you. But again, now we see just the full weight and toll that he's taken over the last few years. dealing with everything he has in the virtual worlds, because now he's just like, if it goes back to that manic depression thought of they would be better off if I wasn't.
Really see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Like, just
Well,
to
and
be
there
able
was
to hide and, like, avoid everyone.
and there was that moment where it's even you love this world. You keep coming back to this world because you love the people in it. It's not about a game. It's not about this. It's not about this thrill that you're seeking. You come back here because you care about the people that are here. And he's willing to do that. He's willing to do the 200 years for them, for his friends, and to make sure they get out.
He was torn
Even if he
between the
doesn't.
two, really.
He was.
During the battle and that
He
scene
gets
where he was,
lost.
yeah.
Yeah, he gets lost in it, and then Vecta asks him, "Well, who are you to, stand before me?" And then he snaps back, and that's when he's like, "I'm the swordsman." But he was definitely struggling. He had that internal battle of what he should do, and he didn't want to let anyone down. He didn't want to leave anyone, but he knew he had to stay and fight.
It's really hard to, in my opinion, right now, even with making notes and everything of that sort, it's really hard to cover this episode because it's kind of a lot of things were everywhere. They weren't just some things were in one spot, then you'd come back, even you go down the episode a little bit more, and then you're pretty much in that same predicament of him debating on where he wants to be.
It was very bittersweet, and there were some wonderful moments, and I do feel like it was supposed to be Kirito's battle of the should I stay, should I leave, should I give this world up to a monster kind of battle, and that internal struggle.
And again, I don't think he would ever let himself just give in and let Vecta take the world. Let
No.
Kirito take that world.
No.
I think it's just a matter of, I think it was more or less a matter of, okay, I'm buying time for them to get out, but do I worry about myself?
Yeah, am I gonna be able to?
Then there's the going back, Kirito back talking Gabriel on like memories of, it's like you don't know what true memories are. They're not here. They're, as he was trying to take Kirito's soul in a way at that moment when he had changed into that full demon. Then we have the moment of him release recollection of Blue Rose and Night Skyblade
Oh my
exactly at the same
gosh.
time.
Simultaneously.
Beautiful.
This was the epitome of the fight right here. This was the crescendo of the fight.
Very much was.
You see Blue Rose stretch out its vines and just encase Gabriel's demon spectre energy form and restrain him. And then Kirito picks up the
Well,
Night
he
Sky Blade.
loses his arm.
Yeah.
And then Irgio forms once again, actually holding Blue Rose. Then Kirito lifts up the Night Sky.
Yeah, and that was another beautiful moment of, this is your chance, take it. I love this moment with him and Yu-Gi-Oh! So the Night Sky Blade raises to the sky, and the beam shoots up, and the entire sky over the underworld starts to turn black. It turns nighttime.
And it kind of covers the name very well in this situation.
It really does.
And everyone, I think what's important, but no, the moment when everyone saw this guy, light up, the Night Sky Blade light up, and then all his friends
became dark.
All the people, everyone was like lending him their strength and wanting him, to protect Alice and wanting him to be safe, and they love him.
Yeah, and as much as I love this moment, it almost felt a little stolen from another anime I enjoy, which is Dragon Ball Super. If anybody has seen the Goku Black arc, that's basically the way Future Trunks takes out Goku Black. Is he takes his busted broken sword and he channels basically a spirit bomb into it and makes a giant energy blade and comes down on him.
I think in this way it was more heart-wrenching.
It was
the way they did it in this one because of the whole situation, this way the story has been told this whole time, and then also with pretty much only having maybe 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes left to take care of Gabriel and get the fuck out. Maybe not even that.
And that's another thing is throughout this entire fight, we're not even focused on the time clock.
No.
It's not like we have a moment of them cutting back to the raft saying, oh my God, there's only 2 minutes left. And, then it cuts back and you see Kirito being impaled by the tentacle beams or whatever. We have no concept of what the current amount of time left is.
It's very tense.
It was extremely tense.
Yeah, because and we know time is different and the travel's different in
Well,
the
yeah, and the
underworld.
time is
It goes,
also already
yeah.
accelerated there as it was.
Yeah, so we don't know how long. Like he's like, oh, 10 minutes. We don't know what 10 minutes in the real world is to 10 minutes in the game, in the game world. And so it is a very tense moment where you're just like, okay, well, this is, is he going to finish him now? Is this going to be the last blow? What's going to happen? So it was very tense.
It's really because we start off with Shinon sending off pretty much her heart or her
To
memories
Kirito.
to
Yeah.
Kirito. Then we go into Leafa. And even with that
poor
scene of
Leafa.
Leafa, we have the Pugless. And since it's this
Shada.
Yeah, and we have Shada there. They have a moment, and then she's explaining to him, and then their lights pretty much light up the sky. Then you have the orcs there as well. Then it goes off to Liz and Silica, pretty much admitting what everybody else already knew.
That they love him,
Kirito.
which we all knew that.
They all love him, yes.
Yeah. Well, they love him in the other way. And then there's Clyde lifting his fist to the sky.
The bromance is strong.
Cline's
Clyde
Breakfast
and
Club
Kirito have
moment that he has.
They have had a very romantic relationship.
It's
They really
beautiful.
It is. It's sweet.
It is. It's very sweet.
Then you got them skimming over the remaining goblins, kobolds, all the other races in the Dark Territory, and then they're also being part of that night, making those stars into the night sky. Then we get that moment where Kirito is standing there, like those past few nights he's dealt with. Bercoli, the administrator. I don't know who the first two were. I couldn't think of who they were. They looked familiar, but I just couldn't remember who they were. In his interaction throughout the underworld.
I didn't get a good look at them, but there's been so many people that he's crossed paths with and people he, had connections with and the people who have taught him things. And so I don't know. I thought it was a nice moment. I thought it was a nice wrap up to that particular moment.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he goes back and channels all of that energy into the Starburst Stream finisher.
His most powerful move.
The move that the last time we officially heard it called out and saw him use it, which was also the first time, it rendered him unconscious.
Well, yeah,
because he took such a physical toll with it. And during that fight, back in SAO, that was the first time he used it. And he just kept pushing and pushing and pushing himself.
His stats weren't fully there to just support the move.
And his HP was steadily going down. Like by the time he passed out, he was down to 5 health points.
Very close.
Yeah, and so he goes unconscious and wakes up a little while later with everybody around him like, what the hell?
And then after all this, Gabriel is finally dead. He's taken care of.
So we think.
Mhm.
Yeah. No.
I'm throwing that out there.
Oh,
We
yeah.
hope.
Yeah, because he didn't really pull anything off like he did with Poe in this situation. Everyone exiting the game that was there that came over, or in Silica and, not Silica, but Leafa and Shinon's case, where they were in the flux light in the remote site, all exiting.
Yeah, because if you pay attention, as Gabriel explodes, we see Alice and Asuna reaching the console.
Mm-hmm.
Alice turns around and screams, and then it just fades. There's a fade of light, or a flash of light, I guess you could say. Gabriel finishes his detonation, and the entire sky turns into a giant computer coding message.
Yep.
Mhm.
And it says final acceleration phase engaged, or something along those lines. And you just
think
see
that was
one
it.
by one. You see one by one, everybody's character starts dissolving and logging out.
Mhm.
Then it goes back to Kirito, his arm is restored, and then saying those words to Kirito, the final farewell.
Sayonara, Yujio.
Yep.
That fucking broke my heart.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
knowing that for that fragment that he did place is now pretty much used completely up. That my job here is done. You know what you got to do from here on out, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like he'll carry the memories and he has that, but that's all.
Yeah.
The little bit of essence that was there, the last of his flux light's gone.
And then he flies over to the altar. The tears. He stands there.
He doesn't see Asuna and Alice, so he assumes they made it out. And as he sheathes his weapons and everything, and he says, "Well, 200 years, huh?" And he collapses to his knees
in
and just
tears.
starts bawling. And again, he's apologizing to everyone he knows and loves that he's sorry that he saved them, but he failed them.
Yeah, he didn't make it out
Is the way he feels.
because they came there for him
Yeah.
originally, and he knows that. and
the ones that have the friendship bonds, but also the ones that care for him more than just a friendship. And then you all just also seeing the moment when Leafa and Shinon actually do exit, they both smile to each other. But
they
it's
feel,
really gonna hurt when they find out exactly
what happened.
has happened.
That's a moment of, oh, we're out, everything must be over, we won.
I think they knew. I think they kind of knew, because if you look at the rest of them, like Klein knew, but no, if you look at the moment, I think they kind of knew. I think it was like a bittersweet smile of like, we did everything we could do.
Well, the thing is,
Hopefully it worked.
they don't
like
know
they
it.
may not fully know, but like you can see it in Klein. You can see
Agil.
it in Agil. Like they look like they know something's
definitely
wrong.
Agil like that.
Yeah.
They know something's off. Like they can sense it.
Because Agil and Klein have always been very close, pretty much brothers, and it's one of those. And when it comes to those type of friendships, as for males, definitely, or just when males with those close male friendships and the females with those close female friendships, that it's kind of like a troubling gut feeling. A lot of the time.
Like Agil especially, because Agil's always been the rock. Always the rock. Like
he'd be the one that knocked you across the head.
Yeah, get your shit together. Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
he's always been that kind.
There's a reason he's the tank, But even Moonphase and his friend, when they log out, they're just like, shit.
It was a rough
They
one.
just have that look.
They're burnt. They're kind of shocked, but also to being able to get through all what had just happened, all the emotions from the other players, the situation with Kirito coming back, just all of it. And the thing is, there's 4 more episodes after this.
Same.
Yeah.
If this was the ending, I'd be pissed as hell.
No.
Especially considering we haven't even talked about the actual ending yet.
Yeah.
Kirito is on his knees crying, and you see a shadow. He looks up, and there's Asuna. God damn it.
Yep. And it just cuts out right there. It's a rough one to cover because
she gave up. She knew, like she knew what she was walking. That she intentionally stayed for him. She did not leave.
She knew he was not going to be able to make it because with only the time, physically knowing the time frame, if she could have been keeping track in her head or something.
Yeah, she let Alice go first, and she could have went immediately after. I felt like there was time, but she did not leave because he was not there.
And we have 4
more episodes.
4 episodes.
I was like, how much more can I cry?
How much more are they going to fucking throw at us?
I'm very dehydrated.
So the next episode, it's already messing with me just from the title of it. The next episode is called Beyond Time.
Time Beyond Time.
And I'm just like, oh, so
what wrenches am I getting thrown at?
Yeah.
The way this story is being told, definitely for this arc, coming close to a wrapping up, it kind of makes sense on why they would end the animation here. Yeah. If it keeps going in the route that it is going.
Yeah. I know people be like, oh, this is fan servicey as fuck. Yes, it is. It is fantastic and it's amazing and you should enjoy it. But it's pivotal. Like this is a beautiful way to end a series. You get all the memories from the past and the whole.
Well, there's 2 more arcs after this arc to the series itself.
Yeah.
But with the way things are going, definitely if they are
the animation,
I have a feeling they are truly stuck, but there's 4 more episodes they could throw anything at us from us because I have not read any of the light novels or any of the manga, so
neither have I.
I can't really say like too much on what's going to happen next. There is the probability they figure something out, and then there's the something where they actually are staying, and if it ends up being that way, it explains why the series isn't here, because pretty much you're going into a completely different series if they are stuck in this world. It is not the same series anymore.
Yeah, there's a big difference, they're permanently stuck. So yeah, but I agree. Yeah, it definitely becomes it would be a different series completely then if they are permanently stuck there. It's just like every episode's just been, especially the last couple, have just been heart-wrenching and emotionally involved. And I don't know what they're going to do in the last 4. Like what amazing BS they're going to pull out, because it's going to be everyone wanting to get Asuna and Kirito back. They're going to do whatever they can possibly
get them truly back home.
And then we still don't know the extent of what's going on with Raft. We still don't fully know.
Yeah, because Gabriel's men are still there.
He's still there, and Gabriel's still there. Like I don't believe he died like fully. I don't believe he's dead. He wasn't. It wasn't like with Poe where it was like, you're gonna be a tree, you're stuck here forever. Like, that's not what happened.
Unless there
to
was
Poe.
some consequence with linking Vecta and his account together that we don't know about.
I'm just thinking that there's 4 more episodes, so that couldn't have been it. Just it's gonna, yeah, something's gonna be thrown at us.
Yeah, if there's 4 more, I definitely think there's going to be more. I really thought this would have been.
This would have been a way to end it if this was the last episode.
Yeah, it would be. And like you said, you would be probably a little pissed, but it is also like beautiful in a way. It would
Not a little.
Lyria's like, I would throw a rock through a window.
If this was the last episode, this would pretty much be another Angel Beats scenario at the very end.
Oh,
no.
Jesus.
See that one. So
Why is this my life? I'm glad it's not the last episode, and I'm interested to see what else happens. Do I think they're going to tie it up in a pretty bow? I don't know if I want them to.
I don't want them to. I don't like when shows do that.
I don't know if I want yeah, some of it has been very fan servicey and it's been great, but also I think there's a part of me that I don't necessarily want there to be the pretty little bow at the end.
I want them to end it in a proper manner that the series, but also the author has wanted it in the way the author wants it to end.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, respect to the source material,
exactly.
not just tied up because we're done.
Yeah, and it feels like a full circle. It feels like this is where we started, this is where we end, and I agree with that.
Just don't want like a perfect happy ending. Like, I don't want it to be sad and depressing where we're all crying and well, we will be crying, but like,
Yeah.
it can't be. It has to have some sadness to it.
Well, and I'll tell you the other thing I'm glad about is that this wasn't a season break.
Oh gosh.
Because God, had this been like the end of the first season where we had to wait and wait and wait and wait.
There'd be
months
people
on
with pitchforks and knives
Oh my God.
doorstep at the studio.
This was, I think, and for us too, it's like, for Kirito and I think it was like, this was the first anime we watched as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
I actually suggested this one to him because I had watched some of the first season and I was like, oh, you'll really like this.
Yeah, and I had watched bits and pieces at the recommendation of somebody else, and I was like, well, I don't know. The first couple episodes, they just didn't grab my attention because it was so slow, like right at the beginning.
Yeah, and I told him, I was like, no, you gotta wait. You gotta wait.
3-episode rule.
Yeah, and just with everything I had going on at the time when I tried to watch it, I was like, I just can't do the 3 episodes. And so Austin and I sat down and we started from the beginning, and I paid much more attention to it and immediately fell in love. And it's been this series has been really important to us as a couple, and it's even been important to like the people that we're here talking to now. It's something that it has brought us together as fans and some of us as friends and things. It's a common interest and a common bond that we share. So if this doesn't have the right type of ending to it, it's gonna be a heartbreak. I mean, I'm sure it'll be a heartbreak no matter how they end it. But if it's not done right, it will be a disservice. It will be an insult.
I feel like they'll do it. I think they'll do it. I feel like they're gonna end it correctly. They've done so well with this season. Like, it's just been so good.
And they had the time to polish it with the pandemic. Sad to say, but
yeah. Oddly,
yeah, I mean, when production slows, stories can be improved.
Involved. Yeah, though. I'm ready, but I'm not ready. So I think that's the big thing. I think that's all of us. It's like, we're ready to see how it ends. We want it. We're excited, but we're also like sad. So I think this season's done that. It's made us sad. It's made us excited. It's showed us like really awesome things. It's delivered so far. So hopefully it continues.
I think that's a pretty good spot to wrap this up. Hope y'all have been enjoying so far. This is Rainwolf.
This is Kirito Silverheart.
Asuna Silverheart.
And Lyria.
So leave a like, comment, maybe even subscribe, hit that bell button, stay up to date, and see you next time.
Bye.